Here comes another Vivobook laptop. Actually, this laptop was released a few months ago, but we are only reviewing it right now. For this configuration of the laptop that we have, a massive 16-inch screen powered by an AMD Ryzen 5 5600H, 8GB of RAM and also 512GB of SSD. With such a low price, my immediate reaction was that it just kind of feels a bit too good to be true. What's the catch? Well, let's find out. Alright, the design. It looks very similar to other Vivobooks that we've reviewed in the past. It's minimalist, the build quality is also similar, but I'll give it a knock for you to hear what sound it makes so you can judge what kind of material it's made out of. Yeah, I think it's pretty much plastic. So let's open up the laptop and then we'll talk about the big highlight of this laptop, which is the size of the screen. The 16X means that it is obviously using a 16-inch screen with a resolution of 1912 by 1200 pixels, which means it's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio with 60Hz refresh rate. Unfortunately, the big highlight of this laptop is also its catch. It's an IPS LCD screen with LED backlighting panel, and I think this is where they cut most of the cost. First and foremost, this screen is not that bright. The maximum brightness is only slightly above 300 nits and that's it. That means you can use it indoors and you might have problems in an extremely bright office like what we have here. And then the color accuracy is what I'm gonna talk about next. Look at this chart. It only covers about 50 something sRGB color gamut and that's all we get. So how does this affect your day-to-day usage? Well, it looks like there's a layer of white color on top and everything looks kinda washed out and kinda desaturated. It's kinda tiring to look at if you're gonna stare at your screen for long hours. And then the other small gripe that I have is actually the placement of ports on this laptop. I do like the selection of ports available, but the problem is I feel like everything has been flipped, so what's supposed to be on the left side is now on the right side and also vice versa. That is because the single USB Type-A port is actually a USB 2.0 port and should have been on the right side so that I can plug in an external mouse there. And what we have now, if I want to use all the high-speed ports and also an external mouse at the same time, then my external mouse is gonna hit everything that is connected to those USB ports. But everything else about this laptop is actually quite okay, quite good actually. The keyboard is something that I do like a lot. The typing experience is responsive as the keys bounce back, make it fun to type on, and the travel distance is also quite deep. Though the laptop does come with a number pad, so some people might like it and I personally don't. Nonetheless, this laptop does come with a backlighting as well, so you can use it in the dark if you want to. The trackpad is off-center to align it with the typing zone and it actually feels quite good to use. The palm rejection is also surprising because, yeah, it just works really well. For our variant, it even comes with a fingerprint scanner, so you can use it if you want to. And in terms of performance, I'm actually quite impressed. The Ryzen 5 5600H with the AMD Radeon Vega 7 graphics is actually fantastic. I change it to performance mode by just hitting the FM plus F keys and then I can play games like Genshin Impact at somewhere around 30-ish FPS at the lowest setting. And that is actually impressive for a laptop of this price. How about upgrades then? Well, the internal layout is kind of funky. The motherboard itself is actually quite small and we do have another soldering slot available so we can plug in like a total of 16 gigs of RAM if we want to. But we cannot add anything, but we can change the SSD and Wi-Fi chip if we want to. How about the battery life then? Well, it comes with a 50 watt-hour battery and it can last for about 5 hours in silent mode with my usual workload of Chrome and Spotify with some YouTube in the mix. I think that's kind of okay.
Currently at the price of 2,999 ringgit, I do think that it is a tad bit expensive, so maybe wait for the price to drop a little bit more, but
I do think that this laptop does have a lot of enticing aspects. Great performance, decent battery life, good keyboard and trackpad, and also a massive screen. It's just that the screen panel quality is kind of it could have been better. If you're okay with the screen though, then I think that this price for this laptop is actually a good deal. So that's it. That's all we have to share with you about this laptop. I know it's kind of a fast one, but we do have a lot of other Vivobooks reviewed, so you can check all of those out, and I will try to create a playlist for you guys to have a look.